What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Access Football 2026 season. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble. Preferred What's your best promotion in the pin comment? All you need to do, click the link. Open account. They are going to give you free fractional shares. Now, last season, new quarterback at the helm, Muhammad Curry, went through, made it to the playoffs, but lost, I believe, to Cleveland. No, excuse me. We lost to Indianapolis in the championship round. So going through here, taking a look at where we are in relation to our rebuild, picked up some solid pieces, and I feel like we've got a relatively young team. Need to probably work on linebackers here the most. It's really the only area where we have a C rating on a starter. So those are kind of things you want to be mindful of. Of course, if you aren't aware, I traded for myself to come over to the team. So taking a look at the free agency and focusing on linebackers, something I like to pay attention to is the speed. You really don't have anybody out here that stands out, but we can get Byron Mordwig here and bring in a B-level, B-rated linebacker, 26 years old. Try to get him till he's around 30. So that I always can deal with. As I've shown here, what you have to do now is go out, pick a player, move him to the practice squad. It doesn't need to be the same position, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to move a player over here that was not actually starting. And then we're going to have to go over here and bring Byron over to the starting lineup. And then from there, we're going to have to correct him on the depth chart to replace Logan Lackey. Logan Lackey is now lacking his starting spot. And I feel like now, small move, obviously free agency, beginning of the season, but I feel like that puts us in a position to do a little better, even though we did obviously do well last year. We've got coaches here that are earning new badges, the defensive gurus. We start 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. Check and see if there's any injuries. There's not. We've done a lot of work to the team's facilities to hope to prevent injuries and get the players better. 7-0, still no injuries. Cleveland, Nebraska, Cleveland again. 10-0 against Kansas City, 11-0 against Cincinnati. 12-0, still no injuries. 13-0, you can see we're winning player of the week there with our quarterback. 14-0, 15-0, 16-0, and you see we have the bye week there on your left side. Still no injuries. We're going to get the draw against Cleveland. We will win. Now we'll play Boston. We will win, and now for the championship against Dallas. No injuries. We will win. So there you go. 2027 Access Bowl champions. Really turned around where we were from, a below 500 team, no retirees. Go through here, take a look at who we have to re-sign. Trio of wide receivers. Walden Bryant, probably the only one I'm certain is going to be shown the door. These B receivers can be tricky. We'll try to go for the two younger ones and then let Walden Bryant see free agency at 31 years old. Going through here, our offensive line. We've got Carl Jones and Delbert Smith. Again, trying to maintain A's, not B's and C's, but it's hard to do. Carl Cross is younger, so we'll go with him. And we'll let Dilbert Smith seek a free agency option. Donnie McDaniel is a defensive lineman, 29 years old, B rating, pretty replaceable. No linebackers here. A trio of defensive backs, one in particular that I would like to see retire here. We do need to keep Michael George, obviously, at an A rating. And then I believe, Cade Hamrick, we can probably let go. Kickers and punters, though, when they're good, you've got to keep them. We're going to try to extend Jason out for all 7 years and get it. So we will move over now to release all the players we're not re-signing. And then we will head into the first round of free agency. And right now we're really just looking for high-level players. And it doesn't look like there's any options at wide receiver. We obviously didn't need a quarterback. Taking a look here at the linemen. Nothing really stands out on either the offense or defensive line other than Bobby Norton. Take a look at 28-year-old A minus Joseph Elway. Not a big fan of the Elway name, especially in Baltimore. We do have some spots we need to fill. We'll go ahead, see what the draft is going to bring us. As we talked about at this point, it's just getting the best players, since we've pretty much, over the past 5 years, kind of built our core. So it really doesn't matter where the position is. It's really just about getting young players, longer term contracts, and then building from there. There's a lot of Bs for as late as we're drafting. This is not something, if you watch, we've been used to doing. So we will go ahead and make our first pick, go on to our second pick here, and look at defensive backs Frode Bazali. Frade Bazali? I mean, it's an interesting name, right? Think of anything, you have to get creative names on the team. Going through here, taking a look at offensive line, really just kind of focused on certain elements of the players' ratings. Defensive backs, wide receivers, tight end speed. Obviously, when we look at outside of that, go with speed in terms of running backs as well. Chet Landry here is a B. Definitely focus on the run and pass blocking with the linemen more than anything else. Go over, take a look at some linebackers here. Really, the only Bs that we have remaining on the board is going to be the linebackers. Even though we just signed in free agency, taking a look at this offensive lineman as well, trying to go through and seeing what their block is, because these, once they're gone, there's a big drop off, and you don't see a lot of Bs in run blocking or pass blocking. So we'll go with that. We'll go back and keep an eye on some of these quicker receivers. All the quarterbacks now you can see are gone, so that basically just leaves us back into defensive backs where we have to focus on speed. Corbin Harvey, a lot of times we can put those guys in to be returners. And Joseph Unitas at tight end. We haven't drafted tight end yet. With a name like Unitas, he's got to play in Baltimore. C+, we'll go ahead and grab him. That will round out our drafts. Go ahead and go through some player contracts here. Landry was the running back we took. 2 years, $300,000. We really have to make decisions with some of these players in terms of getting them both. So, Billy wants significantly less than Hinton does. Hinton was our higher pick, though. Let's lower him a little bit and see if we can't get him. No, we can't. Maybe less time. Okay. So, take a look at Unitas here. $300,000 for 4 years. The problem, though, is we have like an abundance of C tight ends. Amari Kramer, see if we can get an extra year on, and he'll do it. And then the pair of defensive backs. So, Banksy is not taking that. We'll lower the years. Okay. And then Harvey will take that. So, we really have 2 players that are kind of non-negotiating contracts with us here. We've got a full roster, so really the only thing we need to worry about is practice squad players. Take a look at free agency here. Cesar 2. You don't see a lot of A quarterbacks floating around, but going through here and taking a look at your halfbacks and your tight ends, there's actually look through here, the second round post-draft, there's better players available than what we've drafted. And obviously, these players are going to want more money, but I'm not necessarily worried about re-signing these players. So, kind of abnormal, but I'm going to release all 3 of them and go through here. Thought I had checked for our coaches, but we actually have 5 unassigned positions. So, really haven't been doing much with the scouting. So, at this point, I'm just kind of content to just keep the coaches we have. If we get coaches that need to be replaced, if they don't have badges, I will go out and look for coaches with badges. If they have badges, especially, players or coaches, with more than 1 badge, there's no point in letting them go. So, looks like sometimes these menus here can get a little convoluted. I wish they did more to show you. It's our defensive line coach that needs to be replaced, Stephen Glover. So, we'll take a look and see if we can't find a coach with a badge here. I've also found that the badges, regardless of where you put them, work. And also, some of these coaches have like extreme records. So, like, you've got one coach that were like 126 wins, 171 wins. Let's see. Even though he doesn't have a badge, defensively, all these coaches are A minus. You're gonna have to go way down to get a defensive, or excuse me, way down to get a badge rather than have like a defensive prime. We'll go with Jalen Millsap. Looks like he's strong on the defensive side of things. And then Cody Lawson, our linebacking coach, he has a badge, so we'll try to see if we can re-sign him, which we can. And then that should clear all our coaches going forward. So we will look to start next season as the defending Axis Bowl champions and start the game against Pittsburgh, in Pittsburgh. Game I would love to win, being it's a rivalry game. So appreciate you guys watching these videos, sticking through the franchise mode with Axis Football. Again, I'm really impressed with what they've been able to build, the depth, the replayability this game has. Appreciate you watching. You know I will be back in the week with more commentary.